capitalize on that, get his matter. This is endgame. All you want to do is try to apply pressure, try to get damage on your opponents. It doesn't matter if you get the elimination or the knock. You're wanting to apply pressure so that later on, they're just easy targets to be taking out.
Yeah, there's no way that these guys are getting the revive now with these moving zones as well. So that knock pretty much equates to an elimination. And we see Ronaldo and Saf, who currently have 5 eliminations, taking advantage of the stink grenades and the clingers. One more elimination is going to put them in that 2-point range for the main board.
And they just got it.
And
there it is. Saf secured it. So
speak of the devil, these guys.
Look at you.
Job.
You are just, I mean, you're...
Oh, and Triggy, like I was saying earlier, that firepower. When you put a controller player on the high ground like that, especially one as amazing as Triggy soars, he is going to be getting those eliminations. And these guys are now at 7 eliminations, heading towards that big bonus territory after that 8th. Amazing job. I mean, and ultimate high ground. Like, what did I say? These guys.
You've got the premonitions today, Kitty. You want to make a prediction right now? Right now.
Bizzle, bizzle, bizzle.
Bizzle, bizzle, bizzle. All right, she called it. Let's see if she's right.
There you go. Triggy getting another elimination on Kiwi Face. Just totally dominating the field, blanketing across, and now opting to drop down a little bit more. See, Bizzle is so great at this. He knows exactly when he needs to drop down just that little bit, and when things are starting to get a little bit scary, you never want to hold ultimate high ground when there's not as many players. Now there's down to 4 players. It is Triggy versus, I think, Ronaldo and Saf still, and these two 2v2 situation, and this matchup absolutely insane.
Triggy is going to drop down a little bit.
Takes out Saf.
He takes out Saf, however. Triggy does go down, but it doesn't matter. Bizzle is there. Kitty! Oh my goodness!
Oh, do I get extra points for that? I mean,
I think you just won the duos tournament. I think we just give it to Kitty at this point.
Wow!
Everybody watching at home, put it down in a notebook somewhere. Kitty's got the premonition.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings after those first 2 games.
Standings time right here. Coming in, number 1, Bizzle and Triggy Swords. After that phenomenal game, they jump up 7 places to find themselves in the number 1 spot, pushing back Demo and Tifu. They won game 1, and they're saying, listen, step aside. You've got a new pack leader. Right
14 elims for them. It seems like elims are rewarding players with the points that they need to get on top.
That's right. Bowman, Vivid there in 3rd. Ronaldo and Sap there in 4th. And Persecute and Psychic coming up in number 5th. I mean, even someone like Jade Truth and Weifo, look at them jumping up 32 places with their performance. And that's only with 2 points, Cypher. We're hopping into game number 3, so points still up for grabs.
Every round counts, guys. Even if you have a rough start, if you have one good game, you can secure yourself a place in the top 10 very easily.
Now, what do you think, man? You have like a duo that's kind of caught your eye?
I think Kayun and Tyler 15 definitely have something to bring to the table. Tyler 15 performed really well in the Winter Royale, and Kayun is just a strong competitor overall. You better look out for them.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to hop into game. Of course, don't forget, we've got Share the Love going on. We've got a hashtag of Secret Skirmish to use. Send the love. Send it to a friend. Also, we have a lot of cool things that we'll be kind of diving into as the day goes on. Player packages,
and
cool things.
Don't forget to use your favorite creator's creator code, because that will get you a free skin wrap.
It will. Me and Golden will actually swap. I sent him the glider this morning. He sent it to me, and I was like,
nice.
Oh, thanks, man. It's really nice of him. Yeah.
No one sent me anything yet.
Well, I got you. After this game, me and you. We're going Cypher PK will see the light of day. But guys, it's time. Game number 3 here on the day. Secret Skirmish time. Bus is on the way. Flying in from Jump Junction down toward Pueblo. The players have left, man. They're out and about.
Yeah, I'm wondering if in this game 3 people are going to switch up their strategy, or they're going to stick to what works. Sometimes switching it up can be useful, but sometimes sticking to your guns will pay off if you figure out what's working and what's not working with your current landing spot.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys, this is randomized duos. We got all 100 players, randomly assigned them their duo partner and said, good luck, it's time to show up and play. And man, the action has not disappointed.
Yeah, by now, some of these players should start forming a bit of a stronger bond with each other, considering some of these guys are playing with each other for the very first time.
Yeah.
Maybe they got different landing spots, different tempos that they like to play at, and now they just kind of have to fuse into one tempo that works for both players.
That's right, man. And already off the bat, Seeing players start to lock down locations. Obviously, Tilted Towers is going to be quite the hotspot. Looking in right now, you can see Aiden. But where is Butters, though? Is he close by? He's still alive. Looks to be okay.
He's got some shields on him. That's really good. Aiden is currently looking for some minis or a slurp, chug jug, anything can help at this point. He still has the entirety of this apartment building to loot. It doesn't seem like there's anybody in the building with him. Hopefully he will find the shields that he is looking for.
That's right, man. I really want to see these two face off. Aiden versus Nick Merckx. We've seen it a little bit, but it hasn't quite panned out in the way that, at least me personally, I'm looking for it to go down, right?
There's that chug jug, clutch chug jug from Butter. Is Nick Merckx? He is in Tilted Towers. I assume maybe he might switch things up, but he's still committing to it, and I like to see that.
Listen, man, Controller Gang represent. They're saying meet up in Tilted, time to battle it out. Best man wins.
Yeah, they love landing here.
And then we face off against everyone else still left in the lobby, but that's okay. Nick Merckx, you see him? It looks like, okay, he's all the way here near the clock tower. Okay,
yeah, so they're opting to land in the corner of Tilted. It's a little bit more secure. You can't get pushed from both sides when you're landing in that corner building, so it's a bit of a safer drop. However, you do give up the central position and the high ground that is offered from the apartment building or the center big building of Tilted Towers.
Yeah, and we're seeing people start to fight things out, but let's see where Nolan and his buddy Armand are. There looks like they're facing off against Base Soldier and Dementos. We saw Klinger get thrown. It's going to blow up an RV there on the right.
Now, only got a gray AR.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, look at the loadout. It's not ideal. I mean, he has 2 rounds, or 2 mags, rather. That's okay, but all you have to do with to apply pressure with is that AR. It's not really what you want.
And only 4 builds, 5 builds now. So Dementos and Base Soldier, but the Base Soldier is missing half of his health in this fight. Dementos is sitting up top with 150, so that is a pretty big advantage for Armin and Nolan. They just don't really have the weapon loadout right now to put pressure on them.
You see Dementos drops a few bandages. He says, all right, Base Soldier, you need to be the soldier. Carry me through this battle. Armand here looking to just maybe play things, you know, a little slow here. I like that Nolan and Armand are, though they saw Bay was pretty low, they weren't just like, let's go full send. You know, they're still respecting these players. Again, guys, this is 100 of the best players across the competitive scene.
So they're pretty far away from the safe zone right now, and this landing spot in particular usually can provide enough loot for just 1 set of duos, but 2 people here fighting for this landing spot isn't really a big payout for the winner anyways. So either these guys have to make quick work of each other, or one of them needs to disengage and just leave and go try to find loot elsewhere.
We see that team just bailed. They're like, you know what? Cypher called it. We need to leave. So Base Soldier.
And I think that's definitely the smart thing to do in the situation. Both set of players don't really have anything, but over here we have Vicaros and Naga Ops in a fight with Ronaldo and Sap.
You see the dualies come out. That is going to be Ronaldo. Looks like he's going down. Sap left to fend for himself, and now he's a little bit on the back foot. We're going to see the ramps and 90 start to come out as they try to isolate Sap and shut him down. Vicaros still super low.
Here comes
so he's
the
going to
thirst.
try. Yeah, he's going to confirm this to give that health back over to Vicaros if he can. He's got eyes on Sap. The dualies putting in that work. Not enough. He has no more ammo. Okay, so he has a second pair of dualies. This is getting really crazy right now.
They've got to be careful. Everybody's got really low health here. Even though it's 1v2, Sap could easily turn this around.
Oh, it's close! And he dives down on Sap. Now, wow, that was actually super close. Sap could have, he could have made that play. But thankfully, Naga was like, look, bro, I got you 10 rounds total and my dualies. We're going to make this happen.
See, this is kind of what happens when 2 set of teams land in spots that usually provide good loot for just 1 set of teams. Even though they won that fight, they do have to do a lot more looting.
Looks like Nate Hill and Grenades found themselves some players here. Now, they only have 1 elimination, so it looks like they might have just cleaned up a fight. And that's going to be huge, man.
Yeah. It seems like the other player's teammate was already eliminated, or he's somewhere else, because I don't see anybody else near them on the map. Luckily for them, they do have some extra healing.
Yeah, look, up atop, Viking Village, the Siren and his duo up there. I mean, this is good, right? They only found 1 person. That's still okay. You know, you have that med kit if you do need it. We saw him top off there. And then we have just some extra ammo, and now he's going to slide across the lake. Time to make rotations.
Yeah, and just getting that first elim can be a big confidence boost for your duo. putting a point on the board. Well, it's not a point, but you're putting a limb on the board, and that can lead to more points down through the game. So definitely is a big confidence boost getting that first elimination. Looks like they're rotating into Frozen Greasy Grove, but there is a team already there in the center.
Wow, immediately you see Nate Hill walk all the way back to grenades. He's like, look, I see a duo here in front of me. I don't know who it is, but I want to take this action.
I think it might be Sheep and his partner, because that is where they fought last game, and Nate Hill and his partner ended up getting eliminated 1v2 versus Sheep. So maybe they're going to play this one a little bit slower.
Yeah, he's like, I got to show respect where respect is due.
So it's not Sheep, but they don't know that. They might think that it is Sheep.
But now over here we got Frosty, we got Sean, and look how many people are here. They've built themselves a replica of Tilted Towers on this house. Much smaller, though. Still, it's a nice replica.
A lot of teams near Salty. It's going to be closer to the center of the map, so the circle usually is in your favor. You just got to make sure you get looted. But with all these players here, we can expect some action or some disengaging happening very soon.
I like that we see Sean utilizing this infantry rifle released today. And he's already adapted to his playstyle, right? 41, 43, 45 as far as where he goes to the body. Headshot is double damage for those. So,
it is
I mean,
projectile-based, but it is very accurate. It has a little bit of recoil. In the hands of a really good player, you can take out somebody from a distance very quickly.
That's interesting. They're not really looking to fight. It feels like the game's a little slower right now. Am I crazy?
Absolutely. There's still 86 players alive. 14 players went down so far. People are playing a little bit slower. They want to make it to the end game before they start committing to these elims. They also want to be comfortable with their loadout. Sometimes, you know, if you do have that rocket launcher or a hand cannon, you might want to make that play. But early on, if you don't have that power weapon, you don't really want to risk it.
It looks like Kevy1 and Jo do not want to risk it. They're walking away from this fight. We got the rockets coming out, stinkers out. Jo, Kevy disengaging, and Sean and Frosty are
They scare them away with that. I mean, that wasn't really going to do too much damage. It does make a lot of noise. It attracts people from around them, so they were just like, let's get out of here before it gets a little too crazy.
But look at the mini-map right now. I mean, look how many people are on. And look, Dementos is actually on a supply crate. This could be huge because with the recent change, RPGs could come out of there.
And it looks like Kevy doesn't want to give them the supply crate. Looks like he's debating on whether he should use these clingers on the supply crate. Ronan flying over the top, taking a few hits from Kevy.
He's immediately just wrapped around this little structure.
Here comes the clingers.
Oh, the clingers are out. Dementos
needs to move.
He starts to build down, and there's just clingers being drained down from the sky. He's going to be okay, but he has to back away from the supply drop entirely.
Absolutely, and that was a really good play from Kevy. But they're getting rotated on right now.
Sean tried to get cheeky. Kevy1 responds with a massive blue pump to the face there. And now Sean is left to fend for himself. Rotation start has happened. Kevy's punished. He tries to go for the window edit, but Frosty's ready!
Oh, man, that is tough. Frosty predicted that he was going to make that edit. Sometimes you got to be careful when you're opening a window like that. Your opponent can shoot you back, even if that is your wall, and that's exactly what just happened. Kevy down, and J-Mock is left to fend for himself. However, J-Mock is very healthy compared to Frosty and Sean, and there are other players nearby, so it's not really like a 2v1 situation, because if they do start pushing J-Mock, Dementos and Base Soldier could easily rotate on them.
It looks like Dementos and Base Soldier actually didn't want it. They just kind of walked back into the town there, maybe looking to find some additional loot. They're pretty far from the storm, so not the direction you want to be moving in, but Jo is going to have to make something happen.
They're launch padding right now, actually. So they go over the top, and now it's Jo left by himself with Sean and Frosty.
They're going to fly right by Poach and Tendons as well. Looks like shots are going to come out, but Nick Merckx, the man, the myth, the legend, here with Harmful. Looks like Paytech and Overpeak on a little bit of this action.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed that they're right behind him. Here comes the shots. Only hitting him once for 25 shield. They're still very healthy.
Trying to build up, trying to get this angle. He draws a beat here on Overpeak and Paytech. Just laying down a few shots. Nothing crazy. I like this. You know, in a lot of situations, you want to try and take as many shots as you can. Recognizing when to conserve. Massive props here to Nick Merckx.
4 players rotating into the circle. Nick Merckx taking a little bit more damage, but he's going to be able to pop off these mini shields. And he's opting for the Chug Jug, and you know that's probably smart because it takes 15 seconds. You're usually not going to be able to pop that unless there's some downtime.
He's committed to it. He's going full send. He's like, I'm going to need this extra shield. And now, here's the thing, man. Harmful's left to kind of hold off these two in front of him. Look at this mini-map.
Yeah.
All right, there's people everywhere.
And Harmful's doing a great job just staying aggressive, staying in their face, even though, you know, Nick Mercs was popping that chug jug. He didn't want them to know that he was popping that, so he just kept pushing them, and he allowed him to get that chug jug off. And they're now pushing from both sides, taking out Overpeak and going for his partner, Pate, 1K. Absolutely amazing play from Nick Mercs and Harmful. Great positioning, great understanding of when to push and how to look like the bigger duo in this fight.
That extra shield there that he committed for from that chug jug paid out dividends. His health, he might have actually gone down, and now it's okay, right? He gets the extra 50 health, which in this case is shield from that elimination, right? They can make upgrades, they find mats, ammo, and here's the thing, Dementos and Base Soldier, they don't actually even want it. They hear the action, they're like, look, this storm wall right now is at our back.
Yeah.
We got to hightail it out of here now.
Harmful and Nick, they're not stopping. They smell blood, and they actually did get a shot on Base Soldier, and they both know now that Base Soldier does not have shields because he did get that white damage. But that was a really big 2v2 for them because they secured their first point of this match with 4 limbs right there, and they've got the Rift to go. They've got a good loadout. They've got shields. Base Soldier is still over there with the Mentos. Neither of them have shields, and it doesn't look like they have any. And Base Soldier's in the storm right now still.
Yeah, he's not good. He has literally had to walk back in a storm to get himself to safety. That's how much things are looking pretty dire for him, I'll be honest.
One AR shot to Base Soldier from either Tendons and Poach or Nick Mercs and Harmful will take him out here. And I think they know that they're weak. They came out of the storm. They've hit him a few times. They know they don't have shields. This is a really bad spot for Dementos and Base Soldier. However, Nick Mercs and Harmful can't push because of the fact that Tendons and Poach are on top, and they could capitalize off of that push.
They absolutely could. Keep in mind, though, they do have that Rift to go. They can bail when they need to, and they know this, so they're applying as much pressure to Mentos and Base Soldier as they can. They've got the ammo count to do it, so
Here
they're
it
just laying
comes.
down shots.
Tendons and Poach. Just like I said, they're going to go ahead and prevent Harmful Nick Mercs from securing these limbs. They do want to save that Rift to go for the late game. They do have 4 launch pads. Harmful is carrying 4 launch pads himself, and they're probably going to use that to get into the circle and save the Rift to go for the later circles when the circle is moving far into the storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the hill, though, Poach, Tendons, it looks like they're backing away. They have no eliminations, man. They need to try and work for something. Those elimination points are super, super valuable.
Yeah, and I think Dementos just got knocked. I'm not entirely sure who knocked Dementos, but Base Soldier is going to go ahead and leave him alone.
And now he's going to put a shot down. That was a nice
the infantry
hit.
rifle.
Putting in so much work. It was Poach that took down Base Soldier, so this is going to see 2 eliminations over him. 2 more, and that's a point for them on the board. And now they're just looking to make it safely into the current safe circle.
There we go. They secured those 2 limbs. They still have 2 Rift to goes. They're trying to get into the circle. Poach and Tendons have the kit to make it to the end game and potentially take the W here.
Aggress here. This is Nick Mercs that they're going to be facing off against. Can Poach make something happen? Harmful is down below, so now obviously they're going to try and take the high ground. Nick Mercs, though, playing it slow. He's like, listen, man, I got to make my way back to you. I like this. He did get punished, but it's okay. They're back together.
Yeah, you notice the tempo that Poach and Tendons have. They pushed really, really fast and aggressively to take the high ground, but once they took it, they slowed down because they understand they need to make it to the end game, and they respect these players and understand that any fight they get into could be their last fight of the round. So they're going to go ahead and slow it down, have the high ground. They know Nick Mercs and Harmful are underneath them, but they're not really looking to make an aggressive play. You'll notice Poach, he only has 13 shots in his gray AR. He has a gray SMG and a green pump. That's not a really good loadout. Yeah. So, if you're looking to fight with that, you better either be really confident or know that your opponents are very weak.
That's right. Now, before we get into more action, I think we're going to need to call in an expert here to catch us up on those mid-game highlights. Bala, what you got for us, my friend?
Thank you, Zeke. As players are starting to rack up these points, let's look at the story of Nick Mercs and Harmful here outside of Tilted. They find Sheep and Dopeye trying to rotate with that quad crasher, but they're going to actually break it, and it's going to cause Sheep and Dopeye to fall to gravity. They're going to be able to pick up some loot here, which is a launch pad and stuff, and items like that, which is going to help them further. But here's Twyfo getting contested in that yonder yard. So he's going to be able to take out Nistic, and they're having a little bit of trouble versus them as J-Truth is down, but he's going to be able to pick him up. And now back to Nick Mercs and Harmful. They actually chase down Aiden outside of Tilted as Aiden tries to escape. He's not going to be able to. Here's Harmful and Nick just pressuring that front, and it's not going to be enough for Aiden to get through that wall. And there it is. They're going to go ahead and pick up a Rift to Go, a launch pad, and that's where you see them now in a position to score.
Nick Mercs taking out Aiden in 2 of the games.
Yeah.
Getting some of that revenge. Some of that sweet revenge. Now, he didn't eliminate him in Tilted Towers, and that's kind of part of the process of transferring the ownership of Tilted Towers. You have to eliminate the opponent in Tilted. It looks like they just use their Rift to Go to get into the circle. Poach and Tendons are going to go ahead and just recycle that Rift and save their 2 that they have, and that's a great, great payoff for them.
And now look, Vinny and Margassi being gatekept. They have to rely on a launch pad to get themselves to safety. And all eyes are on them. Shots are going to be coming through. They need to build like the wind right now to keep themselves safe.
They are in the circle right now, so they're probably going to hold their ground. This is not a good position to be in, though, on a downhill slope with a lot of players holding the high ground. And it doesn't seem like they have a lot of mobility on them. So on this next rotation, it could get a little tricky for Vinny and Margassi.
We're still at 58 players. Guys at home, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Secret Skirmish. Super happy you're here joining us here on Valentine's Day as well. We're in game number 3 of the Secret Skirmish duo format, randomized duos, that's right. And of course, the crowd favorite in big bonus. We saw Demo and Tfue in game 1 pop a big bonus. Look at that position they have. And take Tricky in game 2 as well. But over to the action, Cypher. Looks like Homer putting out shots.
Closey seems to be by himself. Chap is down. And I think Fulmer's partner was also down.
I mean, listen, man, there's chaos everywhere. This is what happens when you put 100 of the best players in the competitive scene in one lobby and say, duke it out.
But look at the circle. Half of the circle is high up on the snow peak over here. And guess who's up there? We got DMO and Tfue close to the high ground. Really good positioning for the game 1 winners.
That's right. I mean, this is what they do best. And now, I mean, check it out, man. We still have plenty of people left. 50 players, and it's about to get super claustrophobic. There in the distance, we see Kuros go down.
Kiwi Face trying to save him.
Doing everything he can. Yeah. And Tokata as well taking shots. And I mean, look, Cloaksy's like, listen, I want some of this action. That loadout right now, Cypher, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, man.
He fortunately for him, he does have the 2 launch pads and the Rift to Go, but he needs to secure in a limb and trade out some of his goods, because Gray AR, Gray SMG, you know, luckily for him, he's got the purple pump, but that's about the only thing working for him besides mobility. And
ooh, a little secret stash. Okay, so he knew something we didn't, and that was that he had a secret stash. Fair, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Not the best stash, but he got something out of it.
Better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And now Kai's.
Pay attention to that zip line. I wonder if anybody's going to use it to move around as the circle closes up.
You know, you could, but it's like really dangerous. Now, keep in mind with this patch, we have the fall damage immunity. So like once you hop on, you can hop off and you're safe. But at the same time, it's a very
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very like pronounced sound that plays, and everyone kind of knows exactly where to look.
But you never know, with all this chaos, people can slip by. Look at this launch pad play coming in from Sofa and Posic. Are they? Oh, they don't even have to use launch pad. Not yet, but they're getting it prepped.
They prepped it.
Yeah.
He was just testing. He's like, is it launch? It does.
It work?
I like it. The thing is, above them though, they know this is not their build.
And there's going to be a lot of builds above them, so I don't even know if using this launch pad is going to be viable. I think they're trying to check right now, but I can see them jumping on this and just hitting another build right on top of them.
I mean, yeah, man, I feel like they may have jumped the gun a little bit. Closely here, looking to line up shots. He's got Jay Cuddy in line of sight. He's going to tag him once. I mean, they need to make something happen. No eliminations, and Chap is gone.
A little bit of pressure now on Cloaksy. I guess he's made himself a little bit of a target. But he's putting so much pressure on people. Look at those headshots on Marksman. Double 60 with the gray AR. He knows he's weak, and he knows he needs to get some limbs right here.
But look who's still in the fight. Nick Mercs and Harmful. They have 4 eliminations together. Cloaksy going to the skies here. He's going to try and reposition. This is going to be really tough. This is an uphill battle for him, having to fight by himself. And look how many players still remain. 38 in the lobby.
Looks like he's got enough materials. He still is holding on to his Rift to Go as a last-ditch effort. So, you know, let's see if Closey can do this thing by himself.
And for you guys at home, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Secret Skirmish time. Duos, randomized teams. That's right. For the final moments, Demo here looking to get to safety. Almost punished by Closey. Did not
just a little bit. 40 damage. He'll still be alive. He'll recover. But it looks like TVU and DMO are holding the low ground really well right now. Jae Young gets taken out right there, but with 4 limbs, they secured at least 1 point. Bizzle and Triggy currently 0 limbs each, but are using their Rift to go, and they might go for the high ground here. Bizzle is an expert at taking the high ground and keeping it, and that's how he's won a lot of his previous competitions. So let's see what they're going to opt out for. It looks like they're going for the mid ground here because the high ground was a little bit too contested for them.
Oh man, Bizzle swoops down, and he was okay, but Triggy took a bunch of damage there in the green. Over at Nick Merckx as well. They have 6 eliminations. This is massive. 2 points, and he couldn't quite follow up. But listen, 6 eliminations.
Yes.
Still massive here in game number 2. And now we've got Closey here trying to hang on for dear life. Bizzle. These guys, I don't know how it is they always manage to slip by undetected, but they're going to look to make that high ground
this
play.
circle's going up the mountain. It's going to be really tough for these players. You need a Rift to go, you need a launch pad, or you need a lot of building to get up this mountain. A lot of players might go down to the storm here if they're not careful.
They need to try and do this follow up on the left, recycle people's builds, and immediately they're going up for the high ground. 33 builds. And we're down to top 8 Cypher.
Sophin Posick holding the high ground, but Cease and his partner might be challenging it with this launch pad play. Is Cease going to land inside? He goes and dips into the storm, trying to make a little bit of a juke, but did not work in his favor. Gets shot. He has a lot of heals. He's going for the limb on CPK Flame. He's opting to just go for limbs instead of healing as a way to heal himself.
He's got 5 right now. This could be massive. He could potentially top back up on shield 1. That's 1.
Great pump shot, but he's got to get out of the storm.
That's a 95 that's down. If he can confirm this, he just has to wait it out. They'll fall to the storm.
Great shots, great positioning.
No
Absolutely
way!
amazing play from Cease. That is 7 limbs and the win.
Cease, the man, the myth, the legend.
I cannot believe that he was so weak, and he spent half the time in the storm there at the end, but his positioning was perfect and he picked off the right players.
That's very difficult to do, all right? He made every decision he needed to set himself up for that win. We'll go back and take a look at those final moments here. So again, we want to watch Cease here in the bottom left. You see Sofa and Tennis go toe-to-toe, and he was just in the position, right? He was coming around the corner. They happened to take each other out.
He was out of materials, too.
He really was. It could have gone either way. He dips down around, and he puts a shot down, and that's it. That's enough to get the win. Now, he did have 7 eliminations by himself. That was enough to see it through. Let's take a look at the standings, because Cypher, I think you're going to be shocked. We actually have a dynamic, 2 sets of dynamic duos here that are tied for number 1, Demo Tfue and Bizzle and Triggy Soars. Both with 10 total points. Demo and Tfue do have 2 more eliminations, but hey, that performance from game number 2.
No surprise there. DMO and Bizzle both known for their end game finishes, and they're on the top right here with the most limbs as well.
And Cease, I mean, oh my goodness, jumping up 43 places to find themselves in 3rd place by himself, mind you. So now Lyrison's probably thinking, first of all, thank you for the carry. Second of all, bro, thank you for boosting our morale, because we're going to just carry this into game 4.
Look at the total limbs is 7, and they only had 7 that game. So they start off their first 2 games with 0 limbs, most likely eliminated off the drop. And now with the 3rd game going in their favor, they come out and secure 3rd place. That's what I'm talking about, man. Every game counts. You can have your moment. You just got to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at this leaderboard. Things are continuing to shake out. Now, I got to know, man. Listen, I think what we need to do is we need to send it over to Courage, who is standing by with both of these duos. Courage, I mean, over to you. I mean, what else am I supposed to say here?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Fantastic cast. Yes, I'm down on the floor. We're halfway through today's action. Obviously, Tfue, Demo, Bizzle, Triggy, Soars. What a start to today so far. We heard from you guys earlier. I want to swap over here first. Performance so far, fantastic. You guys are neck and neck in that 1st place spot. How's this duo been working so far?
It's working great. I thought there'd be an issue with grouping up together, but he's always with me. He's a great teammate, and he's hitting all the shots. It's awesome. Where he's getting all the kills, and it's just working out awesome.
Oh, for sure. Now, obviously, we're seeing great teamwork from you both, but, you know, the big talk of the town, Tfue, another time where you got a great partner who just seems to be getting all these eliminations. What's working right now for this duo?
We're just getting really good loot, really good mats, planes, mats, posted up, you know, checking every vending machine, trying to get as much launch pads or rifts as possible, just trying to get as much movement as we can. If we don't get movement, we're just rushing people.
Hey, it looks like it's working up to this point now. Obviously, the major update coming on in. What's been your favorite part, Triggy, of the new update that you guys have been playing on today?
Well, that they put the aim assist back to normal. That's my favorite part.
Okay, so simple as that. So you're still able to fry people on the controller there. Now back over to the side, Demo. Who haven't you gotten to face yet that you want to get in a battle with to just take them down, maybe take the L dance on them?
Maybe these two right here. I don't really know. Other than that, I guess they're the only two competitors left. So.
Oh wow! All right, you hear it there. Obviously, your Ghost teammate there. And any words back for him?
Nah. If there's anyone else that I would want to win, it's my duo, and we're just great friends.
See, Valentine's Day, love is in the air. Fantastic stuff. Thank you guys for joining me. We're going to send it back out over to our casters.
But I want to talk really quickly about Nick Mercs and Harmful absolutely destroying outside of Tilted. They're starting in Tilted, moving out of Tilted by Shifty Shafts, that area. That last game was a really nice display. Catching Aiden, catching, what was it, Dopai as well.
Yeah, making sure they're getting them on the rotations, getting their initial loot, and then getting out of there, not taking the risk. But we're into match 4. The bus is loaded. The players are ready to jump off, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
I could not be more excited at all. There's so much action all around the map. There's Paradise, Tilted, there's action in Dusty Divot as well. It's just so much to watch.
Yes, and now looking at the bus path as it comes across the players, popping into your screen now. We're going from that bottom right quarter to the top left, southeast to northwest, but a decent mid-split ball. Where do you think we're going to see players dropping?
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Paradise. There's been a lot of action, especially in that game 1. There's Saint, there's Ghoul, there's Lynette. There's so many players dropping in Paradise. It's a very, very nice spot to look at. And there's actually, you see the llama over towards that truck stop out in the southwest or southeast corner of the map as well. There's 2 players dropping on it. That's a nice little find there.
Really good influx of materials and utility that you can get. That's not a bad loot spot anyway, so expect them to be coming out of that really well prepared and also to have a lot of people to fight. There's 3 teams down in Fatal.
3 teams indeed. We'll see if Nate Hills and Funk Bomb are actually deciding to go back towards their hometown of Fatal Fields. We'll see though, as they aren't actually contesting yet. There's so much to look at on this map. Polar Peak is interesting as well to me. There's 4 players right around there. That split is always interesting and fun to watch. But we're going to hop in with Thwifo J-Truth against Nistic and McDonald we saw earlier today as this fight starts to unravel.
Yeah, Nistic already down on the ground. McDonald trying to create some space for him, but unfortunately, it's going to be really difficult in an early 1v2 situation where they both have shields and they're pitching from the side. Fantastically well executed 1v2 there. And you notice they got the initial down right away, and he has that hunting rifle, and it's missing a couple bullets. You have to think he probably picked one up, got an AR round, and they were able to just close that up. That's going to put them in a prime spot. No one else anywhere near them. Tons of loot, 2 elims, and a bunch of shields. They're looking good. Jumping on over to Tilted, we've talked about some of the names here. We're going to see Butter Aiden versus DofPS and Slobbings. This was one of the first fights we covered in match 1. Let's see what the resolution will be. Some shots being traded out right away. Aiden ends up going down. It's going to be on Butter again to try and clutch this out. He has a decent amount of shields and a pump. Not a bad situation to be in, but not a great one. And it looks like he's going to opt to disengage. He's leaving Aiden there. They're going to clean that out. More shields and an elim for them. He's just trying to get away and find a spot where maybe he can make a 1v2 play. We've seen this before. You just got to get somewhere, crouch, and hope they either disengage or someone else comes in.
Yeah, and we saw Butter in that situation as well over towards that basketball court before. And unfortunately, Aiden's going to go down again. There's so much action here in Tilted. It's so difficult to keep up. The different drops, it depends who wins specific buildings, who gets the landing there perfectly. But you can see Slobbings and FPS go right up on top of that tall building in the middle there. And yeah, Nick Mercs is there too, actually.
It's that other pair we were talking about. These have been the 3 teams that are in there. It's the Butter Aiden, Nick Mercs and Harmful, and then Slobbings and his teammate just trying to get whatever they can. However, it's just running around. Not a bad loadout from him. The blue pump going to allow him to really excel in these close quarter situations. Snake's able to force him around. Has a decent amount of shields. DofPS and Slobbings just control of it. We're going to flip on over to Lazy Links where Monster and Devious are squared off against Ziff and Povsy. But Ziff looks like he's just trying to provide a little bit of support in the Stormwing. Not sure if they're fully aware of him. You see Devious and Monster are looking towards that direction and trying to put some shots down on that pilot right now.
Yeah, this is a strategy that Ziff and Povsy have been using using here in Lazy to contest Devious and Monster, grabbing that Storming and actually coming in from the side and using this turret to such good use. Ziff actually managed to get a lot of damage in that first game. We'll see if he's going to be able to do anything from this guy today.
Yeah, it makes it incredibly difficult when that Storming is just raining shots down on you. Yes, you are able to trade back fire. They're a little vulnerable, but the amount of pressure it puts for his teammate, where you kind of, now you see, this is a really good play. He's using the natural cover of the roof to be able to fire back, but you see Ziff going aggressive now with it.
And now it's going to be a pinch. It's going to be 1v1 for Ziff and Monster here, and Devious against Povzy.
Yep, misses the boogie bomb. He throws out on Povzy, trying to provide support fire. Monster trades right back. He says, no, 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 don't poke it out. Throwing the clingers, and immediately Devious sees the pushes going. Ziff has to track back to Povzy on literally 1 HP.
Yeah.
Pops has managed to get the 50 effective back. The clinger's not going to land. Ziff trying to get over, regroup. Let's see how they play this 1v2 out.
Yeah, and all Monster's trying to do is keep Ziff from supporting Povzy. As you can see, Ziff was trying to book it all the way to get to Povzy and make sure that Devious couldn't hunt him down, and he did manage to do that. So it's going to be a stalemate again. They're going to give a little bit of time. Povzy has those minis, like you said. And now we'll see what they're going to manage to do. Just get a little bit of damage on the Ziff.
Yeah,
that's not going to be a good
great
start
angle right
again.
now from Devious. It's going to be incredibly hard to rotate away from this position. You see their pin, not a lot to work with either. Two great infantry rifles. That new gun provides a lot of mid-range pressure, but not great in the close quarter situation. Does have the great tack, but when you're at such a health disadvantage, Bala, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing about dropping towards those Stormwings. That depot doesn't give that many. There's only 2 chests and probably 1 or 2 floor loot spawns.
Look at Monster's angle. Look at Monster's angle. You see him off on the side. He's trying to peek.
good
There's
flank.
the shots go out. Any amount of chip is good for them there. They have to execute on this pinch now. If they're not able to knock these guys out, it's going to be a lot of wasted time and resources. But if they do, look, pre-charging the dynamite. They're going to try and get that down, and then Devious is going to try and follow up the shots.
Yeah, and that was a perfect placement on that dynamite. He actually completely opens up Povzy, and he's managed to knock him all the way down. It's just Ziff left. Nice positioning, and he's going to go down too. Devious just drops down. That's the thing with the dynamite there, Sundown. Blowing up that entire building gives so many opportunities to find angles.
Yeah, they had to play that low ground situation. They're actually hitting some of those buildings to try and get whatever mats they could. That's when you know they're desperate. The dynamite play and the pinch from Devious and Monster, it was so cleanly executed. They were patient, they made sure they had angles, and they covered it. That's how you play a 2-on-2 fight when you know you have an advantage. Speaking of a 2-on-2 fight, we're going to jump on over to containers. This is Poach knows this place. Honestly, he probably knows it better than the back of his hand.
Yeah, but I'm concerned right now. You can see those 2 pink arrows in the bottom right of your screen moving towards the back side of them, and yeah, there it is. They're going to get shot from the back all the way down to 7 shields.
And then shot right back from the front as he pops off the mini. Tons of effective health going down, and these are a really dangerous pinch. This was the pair you were talking about, the Bizzle and Triggy, who have been executing so well on their game plan, despite being a random duos. Again, if you're just joining us, we are in match 4 of the Secret Skirmish duos portion of the competition. We brought them in on their solos merits, so we randomized them up, mixed them up, and they're playing for $100,000 today, Bala.
Yeah, and you can see actually Bizzle and Triggy had a spot marked on the map. They took the opportunity to take those shots at Poach in the pinch with Sean, but they're going to go ahead and continue their game plan and get to a solid position. If we look at the map, they're actually going to be right center, right smack dab in there, and Poach is also trying to decide how he wants to make his way towards the center of the zone as well.
Yeah, but a lot of people are going to be converging towards this northwestern location. Containers is very popular as a rotation spot because you always think like, oh, maybe I should check in. Maybe there might be something else here. Maybe I can sneak a little bit of loot that wasn't there. But you also have to be careful. There's always someone lurking.
There's always someone lurking, and just like you were talking about, maybe there's a little bit of loot, but specifically, there's always extra containers to find. You can see Sean topping off on some metal. He's already at probably half. He has 2/3 of his materials right now, at least. So he's going to be in good shape towards that end game.
Yeah, and they're just
so
standing.
close.
They're standing on the open, just taking shots, flipping on over now to Salty Springs. Pardon me, JDW and Jared, the underdogs we were talking about. Marksman trying to put some shots out. Pearl has the high ground. They have him pinned on the low ground. There are some bottle rackets there. We'll see if he opts to utilize it, but more than likely he's just going to try and use that suppressed epic AR to put down some shots, and he needs to get out of the storm. He's kind of low.
He is very low, all the way down at 25 HP. You can see Boom and JDW down on the low ground. They're on the edge of that zone. Look how many teams are inside of this little tiny area on the edge of the zone. They're going to want to try to get away as fast as possible. They do have that risk to go if they want to, but another one on the side. He's going to go down to 27.
Now, this is the typical for the edge of the zones. Why do we see so many teams end up pumped up in here? But unfortunately, they're right down there. Rift to go out. That is such a smart play.
Yeah, but he's not out of the woods yet. Only 7 HP. He's going to fall. That's such an easy target way up high. All they have to do is box up and look up. And though JDW goes down, Germ is actually, he's going to try to loop back around.
Thwyfo is hot on the tails of this. So they were pinned in by the Stinks, are able to clean it up. There's Thwyfo, good job. So being pinned in by the Stinks with only 20 HP immediately ticks down. Rift goes to get out, but you're an easy target then in the air. These are very good players. They've qualified from PAX West, TwitchCon, all of those solo performances, earning them an invitation here to this secret skirmish and just showing their ability to track these targets and not let them out. Speaking of tracking their targets, Bala, Cloaksy, we've seen how good he is. We're going to catch a replay of one of his early eliminations right now as it comes up and to see what he is able to do, what he has been able to do out of the Stormwing. This is...
No way,
I don't have words. That is just otherworldly level of tracking and finding that, and then able to clean up on it afterward from the Stormwing. Good rotation. Normally it's known for just rotating. Cloaksy's showing it can be used for more.
Yeah, you see some players who are so good with those snipers, get those shots a lot, but we're gonna hop into this fight right on the edge of Loot Lake. It looks like Blue Team is under pressure. I don't see his teammate anywhere to be found. Mentos and Base Soldier coming in, he does the cone in. He's gonna get the edit. Blue Team is also getting pressure from above, but the Mentos goes down actually.
That was a valiant effort coming out from Blue Team. So what you'll see when you're fighting defensively in a 1v2 situation, players tend to box themselves in and try and buy as much time as possible, hope to get a shot. He did get the knockdown on Dementos, but not able to convert. This is going to put them in a little bit of an awkward situation. However, with all the extra resources, they should be fine. Flipping on over near Wailing, you have Deuces and Tickers, Ifa in between, and then Chap and Cloaks, the pair who picked up that 6th snipe, sitting on 2 elims, and they're in a pretty good spot right now, Paolo.
Yeah, in a very good spot. One of the things I wanted to mention was all the Wailing droppers in this zone are going to be favored here because they do get that use of that infinite rift down below the base. But for now, Chap and Cloaksy are actually going to try to pressure Ifa in front of them on the edge here. They're in a decent position.
Yeah, getting some shots rained down on them, not horrible. The trees provide a lot of natural cover, but once you are down in there, you are down in there. As soon as other people start looking, if one person starts shooting, it's very frequent for others, rather than to trade shots out on them, to pile in. Hey, if a wall breaks and I get a stray shot in there and I'm the one who gets that down, great. If not, no pressure on me. They're not shooting at me, right?
Yep, exactly. And you can actually see that we're going to hop in with Tickers and Deuces. But Harmful and Nick Mercs in the background there. They're lurking. They made their way into the zone. And they're still up for sure. So
yeah, that's a good rotation too. From Tilted all the way over to the backside, pretty safe. Some good shots coming out from Deuces, aiming towards that canyon, knowing not a lot of people are going to have an option. They're either rotating through the valley or you'll see a building up above. So good angle coming out from them, and they hold the high ground. If you look down the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that little high ground nook right there gives them control over basically all of Wailing. People who think they're safe rotating through, if you show them a pixel and you get hit, they're going to hit it.
Yep, exactly. And now, looks like Nick Mercs and Harmful do have such a significant base here towards the center zone. And again, if you get centered in the zone towards these late circles, you get a much, much bigger chance of getting the next zone. We're going to hop into the 3rd zone in 5 seconds. We'll see where that lands.
Yeah, and just a quick state of the game. There is 68 players remaining, 37 duo pairings, so a couple of solos running around there. We know Butter was one as well. And Harmful and Nick waiting, trying to get one more elim to grab a point. That point will be crucial. Every single point matters right now. Looking at that top 20 situation, 2 points is going to put you into it right now with a couple good tiebreakers. So everyone is valuable.
Yeah, and just taking a look at that 3rd zone that has been revealed in the bottom right, you could actually see the Infinite Rift is still in place. So all the players that are down there, I believe I saw Cease and Lyrison actually down in that Infinite Rift area, are going to have such an advantage if this continues to go this way. It could even land on them a 4th time, possibly.
And one other thing to take into consideration, when the circle comes up towards Wailing Woods like this, there's going to be a lot more natural materials in play over the course of the game. It's really easy to constantly top back up on wood and then leave that wood supply down there. As you're rotating, you always see just little bundles here and there. Pick those up. You're going to see more mats in the late game than traditional, simply because of the availability of resources in this circle.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Frosty, ZK, and Sean down there doing that specific thing as well. A lot of metal actually down there to be able to do that.
Yeah, a lot of those buildings people don't really think about it. Sometimes you just got to break a piece of furniture. I know it feels really good. Just smash that lamp. It's super rewarding, particularly when you have one of the pickups. It's like, zhung, zhung. Like, it always makes farming metal more important to me, man.
It does, absolutely. We're going to hop in with the Wifo and J Truth, and they're making their rotate in as well. We'll see what type of position they get. They're not in the zone just yet.
Yeah, you see where they have marked out, trying to make the rotation through, but a lot of arrows in the way. Kevy and Xiaomao right there. KiwiFace and Kuros as well. We're probably going to see a lot of fights happen right on the edge of the circle. And as these fights start popping off, look for people to try and flank, right? If somebody else is rifling across, you can't really hear people flanking up behind you. It's really difficult to tell when somebody's breaking into your box if you're trading shots away with somebody else.
Yeah, and exactly just like that. Actually, Wifo and J Truth at 5 elims. They're going to have to be careful with just that thing that you just said there. You saw Kuros take some shots, and they need to be careful of all the teams around them. Yeah, that congestion in this area.
Somebody already firing off some bottle rocks, trying to break up a little bit of that congestion, firing it towards the edge of the circle, not letting people establish that. It's just a really good, annoying utility item. It puts just a little bit of pressure on them. It means you have to be conscious of it. You have to be replacing your wall. But also, Wifo and J2, 5 elims you talked about, 1 more for a point, and there's a lot of people left. We're still 63 players left, 33 duos.
I like the use of the bottle rockets right here, actually keeping Kuros and KiwiFace out of the zone. Nice use. They're actually going to rotate back out of the zone and try to get up in a different position and get away from the people who are bottle rocking them. Ooh.
I think that's a very good choice, Paul. You don't want to be running straight into a bunch of bottle rockets, having to contest with that, and then also worry about maybe trading bad shots or having to throw up a ramp or a quick double ramp wall into the zone. A lot of gatekeeping going on. It's a term typically thrown out in Fortnite. What does it mean when you see that?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's when you basically are trying to keep the players out of zone. They're throwing all their mats trying to get in that zone, and you're just going to continue to shoot at them. They're going to actually draw all the attention from everybody in the zone, and it's going to be hard to get in when people are trying to do that to you.
Yeah, it makes it incredibly difficult. Looking back into it right now, people are going to have to be forced more into that central location, but with all the action we've caught so far, there's definitely some that may mix. Lupo, catch us up on the mid-game highlights.
Sundown Ballin', thank you very much. We're going to take a look back just a couple plays here in competitive Fortnite. Taking the opportunity that your opponent may present is one of the best options right here. You see Matt Ruski, boom, takes advantage of a ramp swap from Takata and catches him off guard. Now, opportunity plays are extremely important. Sheep, Dobai already eliminated, but right there, Sheep takes the just 2 seconds to finish the elimination, get that little siphon boost there, and as I said before, taking advantage of your opponent's edits, builds. Right here, Aspect watching the push from his opponent, gets a quick shotgun shot off to get the knockdown on Naga Ops, goes for the elimination. Every single shield point counts, and these players know it. Now right here, you have a pinch opportunity. The quick wall replace the edit, and getting that last elimination. Carlos goes down, Aspect picking up just a little bit more shield. These competitive players, boys, they are on top of the game every step of the way.
They most certainly are, Dr. Lupo. Thank you so much for breaking that down. We're going to hop back on board here with Paytech and Overpeak, the Norwegian himself, representing Gambit, trying to put some pressure on here. He had an amazing performance at TwitchCon, him and Dementos winning back-to-back games, and they're setting themselves up for a late, trying to have a good late game rotation. They're right on the edge of the circle. They're above that Storm Surge threshold. Storm Surge triggers. When players have been a little too passive, if we're still packing it in towards the late game, you have to take action. You have to make sure you're at least trading shots back out, and these guys are close. If that one team who's only 4 below puts out some more damage, they could be in danger. They might need to go find a fight real quick, or they'll start being ticked from above. The great purple thunder god will spray it down and do a little bit of damage and force you out of that box and force you to go fight, Paula.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love Patek's use of the wall in the pyramid there to block his behind as he tries to get above that, more damage, so he gets safely above that Storm Surge. He's going to get some on 72 hours, and that's going to be perfect for him.
Yes, and you see how that number keeps flipping back and forth. Everyone looking to trade. They're looking to fight. They're looking to put in whatever shots they can. Paytech trying to rotate over, keep ultimate high ground. They're in a very good position right on the edge of the circle. And also, they're not being cut off too much by the tree lines. They have good sight lines here. But that means other people can shoot back at them.
Yeah, absolutely. And having this height gives them the ability to look at so many players down on low ground. It gives them the ability to try to find any shots they can. You saw him get shots on the 72 hours. Really nice play to get that height as well.
Right now, we see the picture-in-picture. Cloaksy on the side being pressured. They're sitting on 3 elims. They need to pick one more out. Chap is on no shield. Cloaksy being forced to pop whatever bandages he had left, but shots are still being sprayed in. Using the pyramid inside of his own structure to be a little safe there. Give himself just a nice little nook to heal up. Chap covering as well, saying, I got you. Pop your band-aids. Put them on.
The versatility of that pyramid. We talked about 2 techniques now right in a row. We'll see. They have a ways to go, but they do have the 2 launch pads to try to use. 10 seconds on that zone, but we're going to hop in with Tfue and Demo, who are on the edge a little bit north of, as they see, they do have that rift to go. That's going to be really good in towards that end game.
Yes, and just a reminder, these are our current leaders, tied with 10 points at the top with that Bizzle and Triggysaur's pair. We've been talking about Demo, however, going down. This is what happens when you get separated. Tfue is not going to be close enough. Those late game downs generally will get converted on very quickly. People are very Elim hungry. They want the points, they want the siphon immediately. He actually gets down over him, he's covering him, he's gonna try and get this revive off Bala.
There's somebody trying to push, but I don't know if he knows exactly where Demo is, and yes, he does. We'll see. He has to leave for the storm as well, and Tfue might have the time still here. Just a second. No, it looks like he's going to leave.
Oh, he's going to try. Can he rift both of them?
No, I don't think so.
I was just about to say, they're going to try and bring him through, maybe get a quick revive and then rift. They're right on the edge of the circles. No, they have to go.
Yeah, and here goes Tfue.
Yeah, just going to leave him.
Absolutely. As he looks for the best position, he might decide to land on this high ground. We'll see. He's only one in the air. One of the things when you're rifting is sometimes you bring a lot of people with you, but in this case, only Tfue up in the sky.
Yeah, we talk about that recycled utility players. They hear the launch pad, they hear the rifts, you look to run for it, and the new circle now populated. People are going to have a far run. Tfue staying up enough so he can get prime position on the next rotation, but also play a little bit of a loop goblin, drop down, pick up some free stuff, and a supply drop there.
I really like that decision. He stayed high, but we're going to see Daxor in the bottom right now, trying to finish the Elim onto grenades if he can. No, he's not going to be able to do it. I love what Tfue did with that rift to go. He stayed up so long so he could see that new zone. And found the loot as well, but here's Daxor and Fulmer.
Yeah, flipping over, things are about to get hectic. 36 players left, 23 duos. Remember, only the top 5 duos will secure points. Otherwise, it's all Elim. Storm Surge active again. You see that on your right-hand side. Players, as they rotate, are going to be looking to trade shots even more because of it. Chap ending up going down the side. And you hear, this is the recycled utility we talk about. As soon as one person throws a launch pad down, everyone else is like, I find it, I see it, I got a rotation.
Yes.
But if you don't, you get caught on the backside. Nitmix picking up 72 hours, him and Monster going at it, stuck in the storm. Tfue trying to rotate through, has the front ground right here. Not worried about it, he's ahead of this rotation, and he also has a rocket launcher. This could be incredibly efficient. Look at that, Zhao, right away, immediately to the face, picks it up. Sitting on max, what else can he do with it?
He can point here, that's going to be the story.
9 Elims right now, 9 Elims right now for Nick and Harmful. They are in that big bonus territory. Big bonus means every single Elim here on out is an extra point. Nick gets the rift, they go up, they're all on the high ground. However, that was not his rift. Harmful is still down there and fighting. You see them on either perspective. Right now, he is completely alone, trying to play safe and just finding shots. Good heavy AR shots out there. 22 players left, 16 duos. RPG comes through, does not find him. Immediately tries to box himself back up.
Yeah, one of the issues for Nick and Harmful right now is that Nick had those launch pads if he wants to make the rotation, so Harmful's on his own here. As you can see, he's getting shot from all directions. He's gonna go ahead and make through it. And no, he goes down.
Edits into the box right away. Another player there. That's the problem when doing these super close quarter rotations. Everyone is in a box. Everyone's behind it. Everyone can edit it out. Nick getting to the edge of circle, getting in the front. This front position very good. He can now edit the window and look for where other players. They have to rotate past him, and he has time to think. Trying to see who else is behind. Right in the box. Next over. 100 immediately. Falls off with a 90, but neither of those two players are together. They're fighting each other as well. Nick knows he's low. Able to convert on the down. Tickers goes down. That is 10 Elims for him. That's an extra point as well. So they've already wrapped up 5 elimination points. 11 duos left, 13 players, so only a couple of solos running around. Will Nick be able to find more? Will they be able to challenge towards the top? Aegis in the middle, Lyricid above him. Anthony and Punisher having a fight on the backside. Anthony picks that one up. Lenon all the way on the front trying to get there. Nick is hunting Ghoul, you see it on the back. Anthony picks up Triggy as he was solo. Triggy's not going to be able to pick up any additional points in this one. Down to our top 8 duos, 10 players left. This is getting tense. Shot comes out from Aegis, does not quite convert. Still hitting that player, has to be so low, Bala.
Yeah, absolutely. Aegis trying to manage to get away from these players. That's what you want to do in these situations. Get away from these players. You see Nick Merckx did go down. I also want to touch on Lyricid and Cease actually up on that high ground. So we'll see. This is a point here.
Yep, next duo eliminate. Not only was that a point from that, because it puts them into that top 5 teams. Now they want to hit top 3. There's only 4 teams remaining. Stuck out in this one. Gets picked up by Thwyfo. Now it's just a straight 1-on-1. J2 to Thwyfo. Able to be picked up. Unfortunately, Thwyfo goes down. Anthony cleans it up on the backside. 5th Elim pushes him to 2 points. Gets the victory out. But right there at the end, I don't know if you saw it, Thwyfo and J2 had 11 Elims. We had 2 teams pushing into the big bonus right there. Nick Merckx able to get there. Thwyfo able to get there. They have to be happy with that performance. But let's not count out our Victory Royale winners right there. Anthony and Clarity G, very well executed from Anthony. You saw a couple very clutch fights going down the low ground, cleaning those up, and we're going to see those final moments over again. So they're not super low. Anthony cleans that up right there. Aegis is out in the storm. Thwifo turns around right up, immediately blasts it back. Anthony, great shot to equalize, and Thwifo doesn't have the pressure. He had already swapped over the heavy AR. Anthony remaining calm, remaining cool, remaining collected, winning every single one of those close engagements and then converting into victory royale and 5 eliminations. That's going to be an additional 5 points for them coming up.
Yeah, like as far as the leaderboard goes, it's been neck and neck. No one's been safe. The energy in this place has been real, and players are bringing it today on the dual format.
I know, it's been so exciting. Well, let's look at the standings here and see where we are right now, because as it stands, you got Demo and Tfue. They're still going to be up top, continuing to add on with those eliminations, which keeps them protected from Bizzle and Triggy, who are gaining on them. Those two teams have not changed, but J-Truth jumps up.
Golden, another team steps up to the plate, jumping 9 spots. J-Truth, Thwifo here? 10, 10, and 10 for total points. This is crazy.
Anthony, Clarity G, they're going to jump up 21 places there in 6th place with that game win that they just managed to secure. We got another page as well. Might as well take a look at that, because you got some other familiar names here. Aegis and Ronan jumping up 25 as well. Maybe they can have a big game here in match 5. Maybe this is their opportunity to crack into the top 10, Monster. But there are some stacked names in the second page of the overall standings.
I mean, even Chap and Cloaksy are knocking on top 10's door here, moving up 5 big slots, bringing them up to 3 total points. And that last game was huge on eliminations for them. That was like literally a game changer for them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. One team that a lot of people have really been talking about has been Chap and Cloaksy. And I do want to take an opportunity to dive a little deeper and learn a little bit more about the one we call Cloaksy.
My name is Dennis Lepore, also known as Cloaksy on the internet. I'm from New Jersey. What it would mean for me to win this tournament after all the success that I've received last year, it'd be amazing. It would show everyone that I can stay consistent. I've been scrimming every single day, probably 10 hours. Some days I'm taking the day off because I've been grinding nonstop. I'm pretty excited to have a random duo partner. Epic definitely threw in a wild card there. I think I'm actually playing with Chap, so I know he's a great player and I think we can do amazing things. With my current status in the community being well-known and winning TwitchCon, I do think I have a target on my back, me and Tfue both. I think people want to shut us down as much as they can, and it's going to be not as easy as people think, even though it's solos, but bring on the challenge. The person that I have an eye out for in the pack, the whole group, is probably 72 hours. That guy's crazy. I know if he hits me once, he's coming straight for me. I didn't know I had it in me until FaZe Clan actually reached out to me. And they were like, hey, we've been searching you on Twitter and stuff like that. We've been watching your vids and we really think you'd be an excellent captain for our Fortnite team. And at that moment, my jaw just dropped and I'm just like, this is gonna change my life forever and let's do it.
There you have it, Cloaksy, man, the man himself. And yeah, he's been paired up with a pretty nice random duo partner in Chap. And I do want to look at some of his stats as well, kind of see where he is, right? Like how he's been performing, how this game has been going for them. So when we get an opportunity, we'll roll the stats. But one thing I do want to just talk about with Cloaksy, I've had an opportunity to talk to this guy, good head on his shoulders, right? He really knows how to bring it in the intense situations. But let's take a look at the match stats and okay, interesting statistics here.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's take a look at total damage dealt versus damage taken. To think that they've actually taken more damage than they've given out. It's kind of crazy. And for an 11th place seed here, that's a very interesting stat. Only 1 shotgun elimination for their total of 5 eliminations so far.
If you dish it out, you got to know how to take it, Monster.
That's pretty much the story here. They're going neck to neck here. You got to be careful, man. Any mistake, you're going to pay for it. And I mean, when you're getting shot, that's probably the difference in them kind of securing an extra point or so.
1 point could be the difference from being in the top 20 and being out of the top 20. And then even more so, yes, it does get a bit more competitive in the top 10, but it's going to be awesome. And we are ready to go in match number 5 of the day. We've seen some crazy plays so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that battle bus cuts through the map and see how the spread of all these players goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a west to east battle bus here. It's going straight down, north to south, west to east. This is a fair bus. You always want to see it kind of split it up evenly. A couple of the other games, you know, 1 or 2 of them were kind of lopsided, whether it be to the southern or northern zone. This one's pretty fair game to everyone hopping on out, and it's going to help shape out what's going to be Game 5. There's a lot riding on this, being that the top 3 teams are all contesting each other with 10 points.
I know, it's insane. By the way, I just gotta say this, man. Shout out to the duo that's in Haunted Hills. Just throwing it out there.
The only duo in Haunted Hills.
The only duo in Haunted Hills. For those of you at home, Haunted Hills, kind of a good spot, okay? Don't sleep on it. Okay, anyway, we're going to be making our way over now. We got Linane and Ghoul, Vikaros, and Naga Ops. We could get a little bit of a skirmish here, a little secret skirmish, you like that?
A little secret
but we could get a fight early on. It's just, it's rough when you get these like really close landing spots, and you don't want to take the fight early, but you also, well, winning it, I mean, means you can come out maybe with some shields if you come unscathed in the battle. Like, there's just a lot of opportunity there. What, you've been in these competitive situations before, Monster. You've competed in the past. What, I guess, is that early game looking? Are you looking to take that fight early on?
Well, with 5 matches in, there's no question that these guys know what's going on by this point, right? Either they've been winning this early game or they haven't. You really have to shape your play style and understand your situation that you're in. Linane and Ghoul, we've seen them kind of make it to the end a little bit. Yeah, Vikaros is sneaking around.
Oh, sneaky.
This is going to really depend on how dude lands the first shot.
Already he's going to go.
Popping off here. He didn't miss, though.
Already going to go in this one now. The battle's about to begin. Now, remember, you're going to have that build count there on the side, and you got to be very mindful of that. But Vikaros is going to have the ultimate high ground. He's going to get tagged up. 4 HP in a dream. He's going to have to drop down, but he will be downed. And it's going to be up to his teammate Naga Ops, but he won't be able to pick that up in time. And that is going to be a cleanup there. And they take out both players. That is going to be beautiful for them out of the break, getting 1 elim apiece.
I want to talk about that engagement. Vikaros did some of the cleanest building I've seen, using those cones and just kind of turning them into ramps on the fly. That was butter smooth there. Hopping on over to what looks like lazy links now. It's Povzy and Devious. These guys, we talk about early game engagements and knowing who to expect. These guys have been battling since the start, and you know, you don't want to give up your early game. You don't want to give up your spot, right, and change your game flow. These guys have been going toe to toe every single time and losing most of the time.
Bear in mind, you had Ziff took out Monster. Not the Monster sitting next to me. The Monster was paired up with Devious. So this is going to be a 1v2, and now Devious is waiting this one around. He knows that the pressure is going to come, and all he's got is the dualies. Now, while I may love the dualies, this is just not the situation that you're going to want this in, considering that he has 2 builds, and on top of that, he does not have a lot to work with. He has the dualies. He has that gray AR.
And to give you guys a little context, up until this 5th match here, they've lost this early game contestant 4 out of what will be probably the 5th time here, because it's a 2v1.
He's getting flanked there. Ziff is waiting for you. He's trying to line up the shot. Oh, man, you love to see this, but Devious going to drop back still with only 2 builds. That high ground there is just for them firmly, and that is going to be a wipeout from Lazy, and very frustrating for Devious and Monster. Goodbye in game number 5. It's going to be Povzy and Ziff who come out on top. They will own Lazy Links and all the goodies that come with it. But now we got another battle that's about to unfold here. You got Bay Soldier. I know him and covering his action and his gameplay for many, many years now. It's good to see him in this kind of setting and scenario against Aspect and Snood. They're gonna wait this one out. I love it, kind of like getting the measure of this Monster, right? Like seeing what they're gonna do or how they're gonna try and approach a nice 24 tag there with that green pump.
Yeah, Aspect and Snood looking to